old Moky would have watched it with us as his first watch, I'm sorry. Okay, here, I'll pull it up. Where do I put myself?
All right, YouTube. Hello.
Hello, logos. Where do I put myself, man? Where am I moving on my overlay?
I'm in love with Moky.
222 Fire, thank you for the 24 months. I could go like top right corner, maybe. I could do like this kind of deal. I'm not going dead center, dude. Don't you want to see Mang? His luscious beard.
Oh. Before you go any further, yes, I know I look good in this hat. Yes, it's Chopper. Yes, C9 has a One Piece collab that is fire. I myself am on episode 88. I feel like it's gonna pick up any second now.
One Piece?
Second now.
How many episodes? Isn't One Piece like the one with a
If
ton?
you don't know, I saw some people saying some things about my last YouTube video. Why 2023 Melee was boring. I also want to take this second to say my editor made the title. I let him usually name
It is a nice hat, yeah. I'll be honest, I used to not be a dad hat guy. I've turned around on the dad hat train. I feel like they're this shit. I feel like I'm like a couple years late to the party because they came in fashion. Like it was like dad hats and dad shoes like like 5, 6, 7 years ago.
He told me.
But
I thought
I'm
it
on the
said,
train.
was 2023 Melee boring with a question mark? I read it wrong. It was supposed to be, was 2023 Melee boring? That's what I thought it said. I was in a hurry. I just read it.
When was the last time you washed this hat? Okay, I'm going to ask something that might be... Like, are you actually supposed to wash your hats? Is that a thing that people do? I didn't fucking know, man. Because you sweat in them and they smell? It doesn't smell that bad. I don't know.
And he put why 2023 Melee was boring. Now, I think if you watch the video, why 2023 Melee was boring makes a little more sense. Because I don't think we said...
I always assumed it was like bed sheets where like people say you're supposed to wash them, but no one actually really does.
It was boring. We just said, you know, it just wasn't. It wasn't the greatest year. Is that a bad thing? No.
It's a joke, man. Come on.
No, that's okay. That's okay. And you know the whole Zane Cody thing. And look, nobody expects you not to play Zane if he's the only person you can play. You just have to be ready to accept that people will lose interest if you're constantly playing Zane all the time.
Yeah, I agree with this.
That's just, I think, gonna come with it. If you're gonna play Zane that much, that's fine. Nobody's telling you to stop. But
yeah.
Some people are just gonna be turned off by it.
Yeah. That is facts. I feel like if you disagree, you are just wrong or in denial. But it is absolutely fine if Zane and Cody play each other. If they just want to do it. I agree with this. I think if Zane and Cody they want to be the best, they just want their level of play to get up. If that's their goal, that's fine. But I also think that, like, it is an objective fact, right? Not to bring out like the big boy words, but if you like, it's not like if you eat ice cream every single day, then do you actually give much of a shit about like ice cream time? Not really, because you have it every day. It's not like a new thing to you. You're just used to it, right? And that's kind of like the same thing where if you're so spoiled like watching the two best players play all the time, and it doesn't feel like there's like stakes and stuff, like it's not gonna be as special, I guess.
It is what it
when
is.
It does happen, you know?
And some of you were thinking, oh, it's just Cody's...
And that's not an issue. That's not, like, a thing that they have to do. I mean, in all honesty, that's a thing where, like, the second that, like, me or, like, Mang0 or, like, Plup or, like anyone starts challenging that and entering that conversation, then it's fucking exciting. Because then the two dudes who just play each other all the time are getting contested. And that's fucking sick, too. So it is, at the end of the day, up to everyone else to step it up and start fucking them up. So yeah, no, I agree with this.
The whole, you know, their year. Really, if you think about it, I'm gonna tell you something about storylines. I feel like this word's getting thrown around a lot. I'm gonna tell you something about the whole storyline thing. When we talk about storylines, yes, there was a lot of great things that happened in Melee last year, and there was tons. You can name them if you're a diehard of the community. The masses who only care about 1 and 2, the masses only care about the main storyline.
I don't think that's true. I disagree with this.
Maybe I'm wrong, But like,
I think you
everyone
are.
here's probably a Melee diehard.
Because
You're probably-
I think if you look back in the day, that's not the case. I think obviously the like it's the case right now. I guess like he's not wrong in that it's the case right now where everyone only talks about like 1 and 2 and that stuff. But back in the day, it was like, you know, there was the conversation for 1 and 2, Mang0 versus Armada, and then there was Leffen coming up, who is being the God Slayer, and then there's all the people like Westballs and like all the other people coming up, and there was like it felt like there were like pretty decent storylines happening, even like the chillin' dude like My Beef shit. Like I feel like, while that's the case right now, it doesn't always have to be the case. And that was my point when I made the tweet saying that I think that storylines, like we have a lot, but they're not being communicated, because I think we do. Like I could go down the list of our entire top 10 and give you guys a reason to give a fuck about them, because we have very interesting things going on. And I understand that like some of them might be a bit more niche, but I think that if they were presented in a way that made them less niche, then it's appeals to the masses a bit more, I guess. And that's kind of like my opinion on it. Is I think it's just not being like presented in good ways and like talked about enough, because I think a lot of stuff is happening. Like I don't know. I really think a lot of stuff is going on.
Probably enjoyed last year. You probably didn't. Whatever.
I don't know.
But the masses really only care about the big storyline. So when I'm talking storylines, it's just like
Is the era of the 5 gods over? Dude, I've got some bad news for you, bro.
most of the people who watch Melee are not diehard, I think. Or also our Melee streams would get more viewers. I would have 5,000 viewers right now.
I'm in love
Yo,
with Moky.
Frolic, thank you for the 34 months.
Because only the diehards are here. So I think it's a matter of like it's fine, but you gotta remember, and the whole Cody Zane thing, it's not that it's boring, but let me rewind. Remember when it was only HBox Armada? 2 people who never played each other all the time? And people hated HBox Armada years. Some will say Puff, some will say this,
I will
but
say,
the real
I think maybe this is me having a different perspective and actually enjoying those times more. I think people exaggerate a little bit how much they hated the HBox Armada period. Because what I remember watching was like, oh shit, is somebody going to beat them? Like watching like the top 64s and stuff, it was like, oh my god, is somebody gonna actually beat HBox? Is someone gonna beat Armada? And that's what was so sick. And maybe until Grands it would get a bit boring, but even then it was pretty sick, because like, let's be real, no one wanted HBox to win those at the time. Everyone wanted Armada. Armada was like the hero there, and like, I don't know. I think people exaggerate how much people hated that time.
underlying reason people hated Adam HBox was none of that. It was because nobody likes when 1 and 2 are way better.
And yeah, exactly. Lowercase. Some of those grants were fucking fire, man. Like the Evo and like the GTX and stuff. I think people exaggerate how much they hated it, actually. And I think it's because Armada and HBox at the time were not like fan favorite players, but I think there was a lot of cool aspects that people did enjoy watching. And I think like we look back on those like years, I guess, a bit more negatively, but I remember it's not like I was like living those years being like, oh wow, this is depressing. I was living those years like, oh, is someone gonna do it? Is someone gonna be HBox's tournament? Is someone gonna beat Armada finally? Like, there was a lot of excitement.
Than everyone else.
At least for me.
That
I don't
year
know.
was
Maybe
just
I might have a skewed perspective, because I just remember myself liking it. And like, it's not like people didn't enjoy watching the tournaments. Like sometimes it would end with like a bit of a sour taste because people didn't want those two to win as much, but like the act of actually watching and being invested in the story, I feel like people were.
First, second, them two. And I feel like last year was kind of that, to an extent. And nobody likes that. I think when 1 and 2 are so far ahead...
I also think that is not true either. Wait, because people do like it. Because, dude, I feel like Mang0 is forgetting when it was him versus Armada as the top 2. People fucking loved it, man. And those guys were like... the top 2, they were like quite a bit away from everyone. It wasn't like a conversation. I remember like 2014 when I was watching it was like Mang0 Armada were like it was like, oh shit, these are the 2. Are they gonna like who's gonna prevail? I feel like it's like it depends on like the people and it depends on the circumstance, but I think it could be really cool in these instances as well.
I like it.
I don't know,
because I think it's cool that 2 people are better, but the masses I don't think like that when it's just the same people, blah blah blah.
Like I do think variety is overall better, but I think like I think this is like picking and choosing a little, like myself. And I'll say I love Mang0. I also do agree with a lot of what he said in this video. I disagree with some of it.
The reason I can comfortably say I think 2022, had we had the ending that we should have had, would have gone down as the best year of Melee of all time. Why? Was it because Mang0 was good? Was it because HBox was good? Maybe helped, but really, it was just because we had 8 people who could win a tournament. So people were so invested.
Yeah, last year was
who would win this tournament
good one.
because you didn't know. So the problem with last year was it was just Cody and Zane all the time. It was really just what's gonna happen, and I think people get turned off by that because you can go back to the Armada HBox years, and even you could say Mang0 Zane. Mang0 Zane happened during online.
Yeah.
And even with me and Zane were so much better that people didn't care. They hated online. And I think no matter...
I mean, I don't know if that was the case. I feel like maybe I was far removed or something. But I feel like people were invested in the Mang0 Zane quite a bit. Maybe not as much as like some, but I feel like people talk about the Mang0 Zane rivalry like very like highly regarded. I don't know. At least I remember everybody was like so stoked about it, but I don't know. Curry Monster, thank you for 3 months.
No matter what, when 1 and 2 are better, it just...
I think some people were wieners about online, don't get me wrong.
Takes away.
But I feel, I don't know.
Bored. Or they're going to say this, they're going to say that. That's how I feel. It's not a bad thing. I
do think online was shafted so fucking hard. But I don't think it was like a Mang0 Zane issue. I don't think it was because of those two. I think it was because of like other stuff. I think it was like HBox saying how online sucked. Like the ranking's not really counting online stuff, so we just didn't have like any kind of like ranking. A lot of people acting like it was like not a legitimate form of I think there was like a lot more that hurt online than like the fact that it was like Mang0 Zane. I feel like people were like stoked to watch like a Mang0 Zane Grands.
Other thing to the reason of there being no storylines is, again, you got to think of the
that's my perspective. Mang0 is like the dude doing it, so I don't fucking know.
We can all talk about the 5 God eras. I'm gonna say it. 5 God era was meh. And it's not to shit on the gods. It's not like they were gleaming in personality. It's not like they were the most charismatic, entertaining people in the world. It was
very
just
true. Yeah.
The commentators set it up, the docs set it up, and then we just put everybody on this pedestal because that storyline was created that way. So it's not even like 5 Gods was 5 out of this world, enthusiastic, charismatic people. It was just because we painted it that way. And I think it comes down to our commentators just really needing to do a better job.
I think... I agree with I think the commentators knew better. I think the players could do better too. And I think it's a thing. It's like what I always say is we're like a little ant society, man. Like, you know how all the ants have different functions? Like there's like the worker ant. Then I saw on Twitter there's like this weird ant who had like a huge ass, and his whole purpose was like he stuck his ass inside the hole to protect the hole from like invaders and stuff. Like that was his whole thing, was that he just like shielded the entry of the anthill so people couldn't get in, and that was his whole thing. And I think that everybody in Melee has like their own little function and their own role that they fulfill, like commentators and players and like content creators and stuff. And like I think the players, I think it's an unfortunate thing where the players nowadays don't quite have the storylines and the recognition built up for them, I guess, as much as back in the day when there was like Scar talking a lot about the game, or like whatever commentators talking about it, like the Smash doc. Like they kind of had it handed to them a little bit where they didn't have to do that work. And I think it's a bit of a bummer that people can't just compete and have it be really exciting. But I think there's like even little things that like players could do like that would help a ton, even just given their takes on stuff, like even given their takes on this kind of stuff. It's like, who is giving their takes on this stuff? It's like me and Mang0 and Cody of the top guys. I know there's like a lot of other people, but of the players, that's what I'm talking about. It's like me, Mang0, Cody, and I haven't seen any of the other like top guys really like chime in on it that much. And I feel like that's like a running theme, and that's not to like point fingers, but I think that if people were at least like a bit more open about how they felt on stuff, whether it was like win or lose or like little conversations, if people like participated in the conversations and gave their opinions on shit, I think it would go a long way. And that doesn't have to be like beef. It doesn't have to be people like shitting on stuff. It doesn't even have to be people like being very like personality driven, but like at least letting people know where like you, I guess, stand opinion-wise on this stuff, I think it goes a long way. I don't know, but that's again my take. I come from this from like a I want to be a good player, but I also want to be an entertainer because my goal eventually is to stream and do content creation and stuff. But I think that like even just given it takes as a player, it goes a long way. I think more so than people give credit for. I'm gonna quickly message Zane too because I told him I was gonna be ready for 7. I'm just gonna watch this and then play. I'm gonna tell him give me a little. Where is he? Gonna watch Mang0's vid quick, then I'm good. So like, how long is this? I'll say like 25 minutes just to be safe, and then I can warm up and stuff. Okay.
I'm not shitting on commentators, but at the end of the day, you control. You're the one who has.
Acknowledge you are wrong about the ant. That's not his ass; it's his head. Okay, my bad.
Watching. Like,
okay, he has a massive, gigantic 5 head, and he stuffs it into the anthill hole, and no one's able to get in.
Yeah, you don't know shit about me. I'm just playing. So I think the commentators need to do a better job when it comes to that. But I know it's hard. I'm not shitting on them. And it was just like everything back in the day was just a nice story told. And
yeah.
I feel like we don't have that anymore.
I
That's just
agree.
kind of what it comes down to. Also, I don't get this whole like the thing about Melee community, and I mean this in the nicest way. Everyone's such a pussy. Everyone is so defensive. People are like, "We have storylines." It's like it was
That's
just
me.
a criticism.
That's me. That's me he's talking about. I'm saying we have storylines because I fucking believe it. From the bottom of my heart, I believe. Dude, Aklo playing fucking... Like, he went to his first major, like, a year ago. He couldn't leave New York. And he's, like, a top 10 player who goes fucking link on people. Like, how is that not fucking sick? Like, how is that not like a like? No one talks about that shit, man, and that's cool. That's so dope. And like not to like stroke myself, but like I jumped from like 13th to like top 5 this year, and I've had this little thing going where I'm like I want to beat these couple people, and I've come short, and I've had sets. Game 5 with Zane and I come short. Game 5 with J-Mook and I come short. Game 5 with Mang0 and I come short, and it's like I keep coming short. But I just try to go, and all I've wanted is to get, like, respect from people, and there's a story there, but it hasn't told at all. And there's, like, stories with, like J-Mook. He came out of nowhere, and he was at the top out of nowhere, and now he has to deal with the growing pains of being a top player, but instead of doing it, like, step by step, he's already in the spotlight. So we all have to watch him as he, like... struggles a bit more in tournament, and that is fucking sick. But I don't think people have like talked about it in that way. That's fucking cool, is that not? Like there's this guy who came out of nowhere. He skipped. He went basically. He became a top player through easy mode, and that is not even an insult. He did that easy mode with no eyes on him, and now all of the eyes are on him, and he has to do all of the adjusting in Omega hardcore fucking like death mode, where everyone watches him, his every move, and every time he slips up, people like are there to have an opinion, and that is fucking sick to watch. That's like a storyline, and it's real. It's what's happening, but no one like talks about it in that way. That's a fucking sick storyline. I think like all these people have like cool storyline, and it's just not being portrayed by people.
Like we can just say, hey, last year
like J-Mook last year, like he's top 3 in the fucking goddamn world. Nobody knew who the fuck he was last year. Like, come on. That's a storyline. I'm not acting like we have it. I'm not getting defensive. I'm just saying, bro, there's like people here who matter who aren't Zane and Cody. Like, not that they matter too, but there's people here who like, there's so many good people and so many people who have like 6 stories that could be told and they're just not being told.
Wasn't that great?
And I was confident. I'm just like invested. I am like passionate about it, I guess. I don't know.
It had moments. It's fine. No one needs to get defensive. Nobody needs to.
What was this?
Just say, hey, last year wasn't that great. It's not a shit on anybody. It just wasn't what it was. It had moments. It's fine. No one needs to get defensive. Nobody needs to. It's fine. It's okay. We can do better. Unless you're saying last year was so good that we can't top it. I think we could top last year easily. It's probably will be forgotten because it was a pretty okay year. It's not a bad thing. Not every year is gonna be a banger, and that's fine. I've played in so many Melee years. There's been some good ones, some stinkers, some banger. I think we as a community just need to take criticism more. I feel like when we're so Twitter pilled as a community, thank God I'm not, that everyone's just so quick to be negative. And I think...
Okay, this is the part that frustrated me a lot. Was because right before this, he was saying like... Because he said how last year it wasn't great. And that's fine. And then the next fucking point is, man, we're too negative. It's like, dude, you just said that last year fucking wasn't good. You said like wasn't a great year. Like, like literally right before saying that we're too negative. Like last year, it wasn't the best year. I'm not gonna like lie and say it was like, oh, the holy like God's gifted year, but. It had some good shit, and I just wish people talked about the good stuff.
When the masses see us being negative, it's kind of bad. Because I think when we're emo on Twitter after, or we're being pussies, or we're yawning, I think when people look at the Melee community, they think we're crybabies, we're entitled, and we're kind of weenies, and we're kind of pussies. And I think as a community...
His point is that it's fine to have a less good year. Yeah, but like... I think the thing is, though, is that like... Because... I think it goes farther than just Twitter, too. Because I think, like, just saying, like, yeah, the year wasn't great. It's like, I see, like, Leffen tweeted last year. He's like, I don't want to go to more tournaments because the year feels like a wash. It's like, yeah, that's fucking helping the game. Like, sick, dude. Thank you, man. It's like, you know what I mean? It's just, I think it goes more than Twitter, though, is what I'm saying. And I think, like, I know he said that he didn't like title his video that it was he didn't title his video that, or he didn't want to title his video that Melee last year was boring, but that was like the title. And it's just like, even like that's the, I don't know, I know it's like clickbait and whatever, but it's just like I don't know. I think the problem is that all the great things that you recognize are also recognized by other top players and diehards, but like 0% of spectators. Yeah, and my point is that like it's our fucking fault that it's not being like recognized by spectators. Because the spectators, how are they supposed to know? The reason they know is if it's actually like portrayed to them in like a digestible way. And if it's not being portrayed, it's not being portrayed. And that's like the whole reason I was saying, I wish people stopped saying this and we focus on actually telling the stories. I wish people stopped saying there wasn't storylines and we focused on telling the storylines we have, because there are good storylines that we have that could be told. And people, the spectators don't care about them right now, but like, how would they? It's not like there's like it's not like the players are doing like a great job of like conveying this. It's not like the commentators are doing a great job of conveying this. It's not like I think Walt's doing a pretty good job, honestly, watching like his last couple videos. I used to not be super huge on Walt because it was super esportsy, but I think that his, like, I mean, I like Walt, but I've never been huge on his content, but I think the way he's doing it now, he's finding a good groove that I actually like a lot, where I think he's like, it's not super dry, it's like esportsy, but it's like personality in it. I actually really like what Walt's been doing. But I think like we can't expect the people to just like pick up on everything, and it's not their fault and it's not whatever, but I think like at the end of the day, it's like the people who want to make this a thing, you need to make it a thing. Like you need to express this so that the people who are more casual viewers can like grasp onto stuff. And that's my whole point, is that I don't think it's being expressed to those people. Does that make sense what I'm saying? Like that's like my entire point, is that I think that like these things could be expressed so people do give a shit. And right now they're not. So right now people don't give a shit, but that doesn't mean that they can't.
About competing, I think everyone needs to stop bitching as much. I think everyone needs to stop crying after they lose. I'm guilty of it. I've cried after I've lost, and I'm not on the right for that. I'm not above that. Everyone has done it except like Zane, but I've seen him in the after party when he's letting it all out. All I'm saying is, I think as a community,
I am passionate about it, because like this is what I put my last 10 years. This is what I wanted to do. Since I was in high school, I wanted to be like a Melee guy. Like ever since I saw the documentary, the whatever, like, and I learned that people were doing this, that's what I wanted to do, and that's what I put my entire life in. I have been playing this game. It's going on 10 years in April. This is what this is what I have invested in. my time in.
I think when the
like I just want it to do well.
In on us, and we're all just crying.
I don't want it just to do well for myself either. I think it's like, it's actually truly a bummer to watch players who are very talented, like Kadoran and Aklo and stuff, and like it's hard to make a fucking living. You know how good they are? They are like top 10 level. They're like literally like right there. They're like so close to being able to like win shit, and no one I don't know. He didn't say you can't enjoy it. He's saying the year was less enjoyable than many others. You're taking it personally. That's such a fucking disrespectful ass thing to say to me right now. Oh my god. Like I'm not taking it personally. I'm just passionate about this. Not you? Okay. Oh. Chili's, thank you for the 4. I'm just passionate about it. I want it to be better. And it's a bummer.
Cody's on
It's really a bummer.
This, that, blah blah blah. I think it's just a bad look. I think the way we view competition,
because like you can say it's not as good or whatever, I guess, but I just think like I would much rather we just focused on the parts of the year that were good instead of being like, yeah, it wasn't good. It's like dude, there's so much shit that was fucking good. So much stuff was sick, and we're just not talking about it.
Competition only matters if both.
Instead, we're just like fucking the whole year. We're just like slumping around. Oh man, Mang0's going Dr. Mario. Oh man, Plup isn't going to anything. Oh man, this year fucking sucks. It's like, oh my god, man. Like, who cares? Because we have these people who are actually going to shit, trying their asses off, putting their fucking like their pride on the line, and trying to make it work. You know?
Sign an unwritten agreement, like that we will both try really hard.
I'm in love with
we
moky.
don't try and we don't complain.
Oh, Haley, thank you for the 19 months.
Competition is what you make it. So if we just all stop crying and saying this and that, like it just devalues stuff when everyone's complaining, saying this.
No, I absolutely agree with this.
We all just need to be better competitors. That starts with me. It starts with everybody. I think everyone needs to stop being a baby. I think that will create a good narrative. I do think as a community, we are way too chummy with each other.
I
know
100% agree.
A lot of whenever I watch, like even me, there was an era where everybody was hugging after a set, and I was like, hugs are supposed to be a special thing. It's such a good set. But if you're hugging all the time, like,
I think I don't need to. Because the way I don't even go to, when I go to these tournaments, I don't even go hang out with people as much anymore. I'm like, I do not go, and look, I'm not trying to be like an S-fat. I'm not going to be friends with these people. Like, if I get along with people, fine, but this is like they're like my coworkers and my competitors. When I go home, I have my friends. When I'm at a tournament, if I see Cody, I see Zane, I want to fuck them up. That's all I want to do. I do not want to, like, I'm not going to these tournaments to like be friends and have like a good time. I'm going to fuck them up because it is my job to fuck them up, and I'm a competitor and I want to fuck them up. And I think, like, I agree. I think a lot of that's been kind of lost a little bit. I think everyone's like super, because like even like little, I think the funny thing is like it's people do feel these ways, and I'm sure he'll probably actually talk about this in a bit. But I think people do feel these ways too. Like people do feel strong emotions. People do get salty. People do have like egos. But I don't think people express it as much right now. Like people are kind of like scared to express that a bit. And I like kind of get it because I think we're in an age where everyone's like a brand and people get really mad if you insult their favorite player or you get mad at their favorite player. Like I've had it. Like I'm not joking when I say like when I was mad about HBox and calling him out, I had people tell me to die. But I'm like, fuck them too. Fuck them. Like they can suck my dick as well. Like fuck you. I'm like I don't know.
Like we're just so and like it's so okay.
I get the scaredness. I get it because there are people who overreact, but I think in my head, I'm like, it's part of the job, and like we need to do this. I don't know. That's how I see it.
People say we need beef. We don't need beef. Beef is not what we need. We just need to be better competitors, myself included. We need to stop crying, and it's okay to be salty after a set and just be like, "Fuck you," shake hands. I can't remember last time I saw someone shake hands and just like nod their head in disappointment. It's always just like, I don't know. We're too. It just feels like, and even then, you could be the greatest loser in the world, but I still think it's just too chummy, and I don't really.
I 100%, 1,000% agree with this. Like, it doesn't need to be beef. I actually told Zane this. Do you guys remember when Leffen made that tweet? So Leffen made that tweet, and he was talking about, like, he's like, yeah, I don't know if I want to go to more tournaments this year because this year's a wash. It's like, it's whatever. Yeah. It was about, like, whatever. And then Zane quote retweeted him, and he's like, honestly, this year is not a wash. I fucking care. I'm giving it my all, and I care about this year. I messaged Zane. I was like, that night when I saw that Leffen tweet, I messaged him. I'm like, dude, I think you should say something here because I think people are being so fucking depressing, so whatever. And like, you don't need to be mean. It doesn't need to be beef, but I think you need to just express that you give a damn because I know you're there grinding like 8 hours a day. And for people to act like this doesn't matter is disrespect. And all it does is diminish it. And I'm happy he did because I think it doesn't have to be, like, it doesn't have to be beef. You just have to show that you give a fuck and express that you give a fuck, and like people follow. But I think like I don't think it's expressed that much. I don't know if people like give less of a fuck or what, but I think it's just like I think people do give a lot of a fuck, but it's just like people are very scared to I guess say stuff sometimes, like on Twitter or on stream or whatever.
It's not bad. Like
we don't really get much of a glimpse into the lives of a lot of these people. Not that like we need to know like their personal, like I don't need to know people's like sin numbers or their fucking relationships or anything, but like just knowing how they feel after a tournament is goddamn good enough for me. I don't know.
We're all friends at the end of the day. I like all the people I compete with, and like we go back years, but like I just feel like we lost like some grit, maybe some like fuck you. After I lose, I just tweet like, I cannot wait to play this stupid fuck again.
Yeah.
GG's. Like, and that's just how you feel, but everyone's like, oh, you know, blah, blah, blah. You know, and it's just like, I don't think that's fun. No, it's not beef if you're just like, dude, fuck that. That guy sucks. Yeah. I'm going to get him next time. And then next time you
that's
play
just
it,
competition.
that's already a narrative within itself. Because now it's like
even when I'm playing like friendly sessions and someone tells me I played lame as fuck, I'm like, this guy's just fucking mad. That's funny. And then, you know, we go and we grab a beer after and whatever, and it's fine because it's just that's just what it is. It's not a huge deal.
I'm gonna shit on him because he's not that great. Bam. Instead, you know, we all hide and we try to do this like nice thing on Twitter, and I think the Melee community acts like we're like so suit and tie, sponsored by a $250 company. No, we're not. We're fucking
not at all.
Grassroots. We need to act like it. Like no one's losing a sponsor if I lose and say suck my balls, bitch, or I beat somebody.
Yeah.
And I say hold that.
I will say, actually, can I say something that I could not say before? During the online era, I was talking to a sponsor, and I'm not going to say what sponsor it was, but they wanted to pick me up. And I was talking to them, and I won a tournament, or I did really well at a tournament, and I tweeted out, Leffen, or not Leffen, I tweeted out, Reddit can suck my fucking dick. And this sponsor messaged me and said, hey, can you delete that? And then I deleted it, and they didn't pick me up anyway. Like, what the fuck, dude? I'm not saying who it was.
Why do
but
we
it
act so
pissed me off.
But we're fucking Grassroots. We're playing for $40.
And you know what I did? I found out that they weren't picking me up like a month and a half later, and then I tweeted, Reddit can suck my dick, and it got like it got like 5 times less likes. And it was like 100 likes or something. So
take your ties off. Let's get old.
But I at least got it up there.
To what we're about, bro. Like none of this like professional shit. Like we got to go back a little bit to the old days of like, I feel like that fighting game, like
I'm in love with Loki.
Eki, thank you for the prime.
And it's like everyone's just trying to dodge fines. Everyone's trying to be like, man, good game. But it's like there's no sponsors.
Yeah.
What are you gonna lose?
Agreed.
So
Agreed.
I think people are trying to be professional, and you can be professional, but it's like I think when it comes to the competition aspect, like I think we need to be a little more old school, a little more like, and it doesn't have to be beef. Everyone's like, we need beef. We don't need beef.
Agreed. And I hate it because I do agree, and it's funny saying it that like we need to be more old school a bit because we just sound like boomers, like sitting on our couch, like scratching our nuts, drinking beer, just reminiscing about the old days, but like there was something a little magic about it. And it's not like esports like worked out. It's not like we're like drowning in money or anything. No, I think there's a lot of truth to it.
Example,
but, yeah.
shit talk them, blah blah, shake hands, be a little mad, and move on, and like it's not a big deal. But again, it comes back to everyone taking things so.
And yeah, beef is fine too. It just I don't like how whenever beef comes up, people are like, "Oh, we need the people to like fake some beef." It's like that is. Have you ever seen gamers try to fake beef?
I'm in love with moky.
My lord, dude, it does not work. It does not go well. It is like maybe the hardest to digest shit of all time. What we need is just people to express the feelings that they are feeling. And if those feelings are maybe a little bit mean sometimes, I think that's fine. I think there's nothing wrong with being a little bit mean in competition. At least that's me. As long as you're not like saying heinous shit and you keep it about the game mostly and like that kind of stuff, like it's fine. There's nothing wrong with it. People's like feelings and stuff get hurt in competition all the time. You're putting yourself out there. That's the whole thing. You want to be better than these people. And I don't think it's wrong to like express that you want to be or that you think you are, I guess. But yeah, like obviously some people are going to get mad, but like if you don't want to get like mad over that stuff, maybe you shouldn't be doing like a competition where people are trying to fucking beat your ass. Like I don't know. At least that's how I feel. Like maybe you shouldn't be competing if you don't want people to like to shit talk you a little bit, because that's what happens a lot of the time.
And I don't.
Flacco, thank you for the 39 months.
I just feel like everyone needs to be back in the. Like I want to win, and it's okay to be mad, sad. Just don't be a baby on Twitter. Again, I think we all need to be better about that, myself included. And I think, like, remember when I lost to HBox and I said Doc Lee would have cooked in its prime? Like, to me, that's me being kind of a little salty fuck, but, like, I don't think that's bad. Then HBox posted the shitty Krabby Patty, and then, you know,
I hate Doc Lee, though.
Little banter.
I do hate it. I wish Mang0 just, if he didn't want to play last year, I wish he just didn't play. Because that's the one thing I'll say, too, is it frustrates me that, like, online, we, like... Because I know Mang0's given HBox a lot of shit for discrediting online, but in my head, like, doing, like, the half-ass, like, going Dr. Mario kind of does, like, the same shit. Like, going Dr. Mario at, like, Genesis really just, like, puts a wrench in it, and it makes it all, like, kind of fucked. And maybe people disagree with this, but I think it's, like, it's kind of similar-ish. It's not, like HBox is... like discredited this whole like thing that the only way we had to play, but like I don't know.
On as a person in that moment.
But the issue is that he didn't take the year off because he was still going to stuff and like still trying a lot and stuff. I think that's like my gripe. It's just I feel like I wish if he was taking the year off, he took the year off instead of like going and making like a lot of wins flukes. Like I think like, and that's like my honest opinion about it. Is that like I think it's just like frustrating, like for example that like Johnny beats his Marth at stuff and it's just like, does that actually matter in anyone's minds? Fucking no. That's just like kind of ruining and devaluing a lot of the year and making it, diminishing it and like treating it like a little bit of a joke. Like our competitions are a bit of a joke if people are going and like sandbagging all of them, because then it's just like, well, what the fuck, man. It kind of takes a lot of the steam out of the thing. So I don't know. So that's my opinion on it. And that's like, again, I love Mang0, but that's like, I'm just speaking from my heart. That's like, just how I feel about it.
Are you a little fuck? Like,
so.
Okay. Like, all right, I can't wait to play you again.
But the thing is like, Curry, it's just ruining tournaments and stuff too, though. It's like at like SmashCon, for example, like going Dr. Mario when you play HBox and it's like losing, it's like, it's insane to say he shouldn't participate in a tournament because of how everyone else views it. I mean, it's like what he's saying. He's saying he's saying like Cody and Zane can play, but you know, people are going to think it's wienery. It's like, yeah, he can go and play Dr. Mario, but I'm going to think he's being a little bit of a pussy about it. Like, and I'm saying this, I love Mang0, but that's from my fucking chest, man. Like, it's true. Like, it sucks. It ruins the tournaments for people. Like when you're in top 8 and you're like, oh fuck, like I want to, like it sucks. It fucking sucks.
Good. I don't think like it has to ever be personal. I think we can compete and be competitive.
I don't know.
Everything that's in the game.
And people can disagree. If you disagree, you disagree. But I just
shake hands.
I think it does take a lot of the wind out of the sails when people are doing that kind of shit. Because then it's like, it just takes a lot of the wind out of the sails.
And I think that's fine. I think we need to.
And that's my opinion on it. And I feel like Mang0 in his heart of hearts would actually agree with that. I feel like he would. I believe it based on how he has talked about other people doing stuff. I actually believe in his heart of hearts he would agree. But I don't know. Maybe not. But I feel like he would. Because I can guarantee you, if every time I like Zane or Cody played Mang0, they just went like chic, he'd be pretty fucking annoyed about it, and nobody would think it's fun. Is my point. P would be pretty pissed, and nobody would be enjoying themselves watching that. Is my point, you know?
It feels like they're trying to be professional. And we don't need professionals. The reason the Melee community has survived this long is we have some bizarre, wacky personalities. Be yourself.
Yeah.
Just go ahead. I promise you, you will feel better if you are yourself all the time. And I think people pick up on when someone's being themselves. And even if yourself is an annoying little fuck, be an annoying little fuck. That's your thing. Do it. Do it. Because the reason the community's got to where it was is because we have so many unique personalities. And I think everyone needs to stop being so professional and just be yourself. I think we also need to stop doing the whole this person isn't at the tournaments. I think if people go to tournaments, fuck them. We don't bring them up. I think we all need to get better. I love Plup. Plup's missing 8 tournaments in a row. Fuck Plup.
I agree.
I wish he was here.
I agree. Dude, like, who cares? If someone's not there, fucking don't talk about him. In my mind, if Plup isn't at a fucking tournament, he does not exist. I don't give a shit. If he is not going to stuff, he does not even come into my fucking mind. Because why? Why are we talking? It's like when people talk about like, oh, it's like if Armada came back, would he be top? Like, I don't give a shit, man. Like, who cares? Because we do have people who are playing who we should talk about more than fucking Armada. He hasn't been playing the game in like, what, like half a decade? And it's fine, he took his time off, but like, why are we still talking about him as like a thing? It's just, it's frustrating. It's fucking frustrating.
This person isn't here. This person's not there. We just got to move on. I think we get stuck in the past too much as a community.
Yes.
Even like
this is also another take. I know I'm just fucking ranting for the last like hour. Like, God, excuse me. But I agree. I think another issue I have is that since we always talk about the years as like a year, like at the start of the year, people are like, wow, you know, J-Mook won Genesis. He's like the best player of the year so far. And then at the end of the year, we're talking about the year. Like, everything we talk about nowadays in Melee is framed within the year. And I think that means that we're always either living in the future. Like, at the start of the year, we're always talking about the end of the year and what's going to happen there. And at the end of the year, we're just talking about the shit that happened at the beginning of the year. And we're never actually fucking watching the shit that's happening in front of our eyes. And I think it's a bummer because I think like the rankings and stuff are cool. I always will advocate. I know a lot of people say we shouldn't have them. I think that's a bad like take because they help a lot. They're good. There's something to strive for. I think the rankings are really, 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 really good. But I wish that we like just looked at the stuff that was happening a bit more. I guess.
Like I saw people saying that like we can't just because. If, like, Plup and Leffen and, like, me, for example, aren't going to tournaments, and everyone in chat or people in the scene are like, well, Plup, like, it just takes away from it. If those people aren't going, they're not going. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like we gotta stop doing that.
I agree.
I think that's really bad. I think we just gotta go forward. Everyone's saying we need storylines. It'll happen. As long as everyone is themselves, we're good competitors, we play good Melee, there's no need to force it. I think it's just that simple. Like it'll happen. Melee
I think that's the thing that I like. I think because for me, I think they have happened and they just haven't been expressed. And that's the thing that we can't like expect to just happen is that being expressed because it's like you said, the commentators and whatever. Jacob, thank you for the raid, man. I appreciate it. Hope you're doing well. Just for context, it was Maher's birthday yesterday, or I guess last Saturday, but we went out for his birthday yesterday. And he got shit-faced, and he would not stop talking about young Sheldon. Like, he watches young Sheldon clips on his phone on TikTok all the fucking time. Like, the amount of times that young Sheldon got brought up was actually absurd.
Hey, Melee, I need everyone to care. Myself, included. I kind of hated my... Like, part of me didn't want
No, God, nobody asked him about season 7 because that is all we're going to be talking about. Dude, it's not my fault. It was Dylan. Oh, my... Whatever. Thank you for the raid. Thank you for the raid.
I felt like I wasn't giving it my best. And I think the world's a better place when everyone gives it their best. So
Yes,
I think we need to start going to tournaments.
I agree. And look, in that right there, you guys hear what he said? Press 1 if you heard what he said. He was like, we all need to go to tournaments and give it our best. We need like a kind of like a written rule that we're going and we're just trying our best. And that is what I mean when I say that I think he would agree with what I said about... I'll even rewind it. I think he would agree with what I said about like him going Dr. Mario, taking the wind out of the sails, because he wasn't trying his best at a lot of that stuff.
Myself, included.
That's what I'm saying. I think he would agree.
Like, a part of me didn't want to go to tournaments last year because I hated it.
I know there's a lot of stuff I could be doing better too, because I've been like a fucking doomer ass, like whatever. But I think, yeah, like I think everyone could be doing a lot better.
And I think it
is my whole take when I tweeted.
Their best. So I think we need to start going to tournaments.
Yep.
Everyone needs to fucking try. The only way Melee lives is if everyone tries their balls off.
Yes.
I think it's that simple. I think we need to stop bitching, stop pre-johnning, blah, blah, blah. Everyone just needs to just go out there and play. Play and be a good sport. You can be a salty fuck if you do it right.
Yep.
I think that's just what it comes down to. It doesn't have to be anything crazier than that. And I think that's all I really have to say. I just wanted to give a little talk on the community, what I think we can do better. Again, I don't know if I'm right. I just feel like I've seen when Melee is good, and I know when Melee's good. And we just got to go back to our core Melee-ness, where we just play the game. We try our hardest. We're salty when we lose. We're fucking ecstatic when we win. Shake hands, and then you do it again. And we just got to go back to that. I think we need to stop being so fucking professional. Think about all your favorite Melee moments. They were always probably a little ratchet. Or, like, you just think of, like, the nitty-grittiness. I think we need to ditch this little professional thing that we're going for.
I 100%, 1,000% agree.
Like, fuck that. The reason Melee is what it is because it's so grassroots. We need to go back to just being those grassroots motherfuckers. Yeah, I guess because everyone's trying to be like a League of Legends player. Can I name one League of Legends player in NA that isn't...
Dude, esports players are so boring. Like, I don't watch any esports, but, like, I feel like it's always just, like... nerdy dude in his 20s, and that's it. I feel like that is like all it's like nerdy dude in his 20s with like crazy ass nerdy Harry Potter glasses, like crossing his arms like this. It's like, dude, like, it's every time. Not that I'm any better. When I cross my arms, like, it's not like I'm disgusting. My body's nasty. But that's why I don't cross my fucking arms, man.
Isn't on scene. No. Because I feel like they're all the same in my head. They all, in their interviews, say the same thing, and it's boring. And I feel like the problem esports has is a lot of people are just boring, and they're
if someone tweets that they're out of practice and they will get fucked up too bad. Yeah.
This thing that we need
to be.
And it's just not fun to watch. That's it. I'm done, YouTube. Let me know what you think. Make sure to hit that subscribe button. Hit it for daddy.
I'm subscribed, right? Oh, shit. Okay, I am now at least. Look, okay, to be fair, this is my,